let's talk about love then. Maybe that is a solution. And I read a lot of your books, watched some documentaries, and I find a very strong inclination, your inclination that you have with the Sufi poet Rumi. And I think you also had one of your very good celebrity friends, Madonna, sing a song on his poetry and all. What is so special about Rumi that you're attracted to him? What quality of Rumi are you really sort of inspired by? And how relevant is that to this world right now?
It is very interesting that a person born in Afghanistan 700 years ago, speaking in Farsi, traveling all over the Middle East and Turkey and everywhere else, is right now, competing with Shakespeare for attention because his poetry has become so relevant in our contemporary time. Rumi was a universal being. He was transcendent, and he was intoxicated with love. In one of his poems, he says, "I'm so mad with love that madmen have to say to me, 'Be still.'" So that's the kind of shift in consciousness we need if we want to heal our planet.
Now you have a Soul for Leadership mentor programs in which you mentor political leaders. And so I
mostly
kind of
retired political leaders.
Oh no!
Or coming from small countries,
Oh no, because my next question was going to be, well, let's just still talk about that question. I know then you're not going to be giving leadership classes to Bush, but maybe what if I actually asked you, what if I gave you an opportunity right now to give advice to the next President of the United States of America? What would you say to that?
I think I would say to the next President of the United States, be vulnerable, be simple, be humble, stop being belligerent, stop being unilateral, understand the principles of emotional and spiritual intelligence. There are techniques for conflict resolution that are well known, like showing respect for your opponent, like using emotional intelligence, understanding that everybody perceives injustice, refraining from belligerence, knowing the values of other people, taking ideology out of the discussion, understanding the role of forgiveness, understanding that everybody is motivated by fear. If you employ some very simple, and we just finished, I belong to Gallup University, and we just finished a survey of 600 million Muslims in 10 Islamic countries, from Pakistan to Morocco to Syria, Jordan, Egypt, Iraq, Iran. And we have this amazing data, and we know that the number one cause of rage in the world is humiliation. If you humiliate, you can take somebody's money, you can steal their belongings, but if you humiliate them, you will create rage for generations to come, and there will be a need for retribution. If you don't understand these very simple principles, you're going to propagate and perpetuate this violence for generations to come. And the fact that we know the values of people and respect them and ask them to share their values with us is the first step. There's no dialogue. We shared this information, by the way, with the State Department. They don't want to listen to it. They want to continue the wars, because it's good business.
All right, so then let me ask you, because these people who govern the countries or whatever, they're not too many in number. When you write in your books about this power that positive energy has and positive change has in transforming the world, then let's consider that there's less evil and more good. Then why are we unable to make a difference in this world?
It's a very good question. If you look at all the organizations that are working in the field of consciousness, there are at least 2 million. So if you would easily estimate that 95% of the people in the world are actually doing good things and helping the planet. And yet it seems like we're in a mess. There's radical poverty, there's war, there's terrorism, there's social injustice, global warming, climate chaos. So what's happening? And this, I at least came to the conclusion that the more so-called spiritual you are, the more your individual and institutional ego. And it's like, we're all coming to the table where we're cooking soup, but we all bring our pot and nobody brings the vegetable. You say, cook in my pot.
We need a universal pot here, right?
We need one pot and lots of vegetables. Yeah, but we're not doing that. When's the last time you heard a terrorist say, I'm a better terrorist than you? They're not competing with each other. They work together, but we don't. And this is, I think our main task right now, of all the people all over the world who are doing such wonderful things, and that's why our Alliance for the New Humanity, I'm plugging
I wanted
foundation,
to talk about that.
It says, all we have to do is harness the collective intention, collective creativity, collective compassion of all the people in the world, and they are in the majority. And let's get rid of our institutional and personal egos, and this world will be transformed in an instant.
So the Alliance is already working on all these issues.
Yeah, we are creating, and we're very much actually creating the technology where if you have an idea or if you have some, you're inspired to do something like a concert, we will help you to actually create the forum for that and get worldwide attention. Because, that's it. Shine the light on people who are doing good things, inspire them, share their stories. There's nothing more inspiring than a shared story, We have a radio station, the Alliance has sponsored a radio station called All Peace Radio in Israel, run jointly by Palestinians and Israelis. And, they share stories mainly. They're the first ones, when that kidnapping of the soldier occurred, the Israeli soldier, they actually interviewed the kidnappers. And the so-called terrorists were interviewed. And everybody was listening because they have a story. And if you don't listen to their story, you will only enrage them. And actually, when you listen to the story, you have a deeper understanding for the deeper context, meanings of the origins of that violence. And what happened when they started listening to the stories of the other side that they had demonized, the people, first of all, were more empathetic. They came with more creative solutions. But here's the really bottom line, which was even more amazing, is the storyteller, who was the perceived terrorist, by telling his story, lost his violence. Because he said, oh, now they're listening.
I know what you mean. It's just downloading and maybe
just telling your story,
just sharing
because
that grief.
We want you to know why we are suffering and why we are enraged and why we are angry. You never heard us. So the only way we could get your attention was we kidnapped your soldier.